Chair recognizes the gentlelady from Ohio, Ms. Sutton.
I thank you, Mr. Chairman. It was not long ago that gas was over $4 a gallon, and people across this country struggled with those high energy costs. Energy and its related costs impact every segment of our lives. It impacts our economy, it impacts our manufacturers and our industries, it impacts jobs, and it impacts our national security, it impacts our health, and clearly it impacts our environment. And that's why we're here today. It will be a challenge for our country to transform the way we operate and to transition to a green economy. But the costs of not addressing climate change far outweigh the challenges. We cannot afford to delay, but we must be smart. Scientific evidence confirms that unrestrained growth in greenhouse gas emissions poses a danger to public health and the environment. The American Clean Energy and Security Act boldly seeks to address the global warming crisis, and I would like to commend Chairman Waxman and Chairman Markey on the enormous task of drafting this landmark legislation. We must bolster our national security by mapping out a more energy-independent future for our country. Today, the United States imports nearly 60% of the oil that we consume. By expanding our energy supply, we can reduce our dependence on foreign oil and increase our energy security. And most importantly, we can bolster our economy by creating hundreds of thousands of new green jobs. With the economic recession, Americans are hurting, and the resolve of the middle class is being tested. The economic downturn has taken a toll on U.S. manufacturing, including the steel plants in my congressional district. Ohio's unemployment rate hit 9.7% in March and continues to be higher than the national rate. We can turn our country around and at the same time bring America to a cleaner, safer, more productive future. With the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, we made a down payment investing billions of dollars to spur the development of clean, renewable energy production and transmission. Just last night, I spoke at an Avon Lake City Council meeting to explore the potential of forming a community-based wind energy co-op in Lorain County, Ohio. It's encouraging to see people working toward solutions that will create jobs, help local economies, and improve our environment. And we must do all we can to continue to encourage this type of creative thinking and innovation to develop energy from renewable sources. I support a national renewable energy standard that shifts towards wind, solar, biomass, and other forms of energy to meet our electricity needs. Investments in alternative sources of energy, clean technology, and energy efficiency will create new industries and jobs, revitalize American manufacturing, jumpstart economic growth, and revive the middle class. And as we move forward in our efforts to retool our economy and our workforce, it's important that there are safeguards in place for worker transition and assistance. We cannot leave our workers and communities behind. We cannot leave a section of our nation in the wake. We have an opportunity, but we also have a responsibility. We must also remember that greenhouse gas emissions and climate change are global problems. The atmosphere recognizes no borders. For industries like steel, some emissions are an unavoidable part of the manufacturing process. Currently, neither science nor technology exists to mitigate them. And many in the country make their living as steel workers. Yet while the U.S. steel industry has become 33% more energy efficient since 1990, the Chinese steel industry emits as much carbon as the rest of the global steel industry combined. The production of a ton of steel in China generates anywhere between 2 and 4 times the carbon emissions of a ton of steel produced in the United States. Any increased cost imposed by climate change laws must not put domestic industries at a severe competitive disadvantage to industries that are not subject to similar environmental rules. If we allow that to happen, it will work against the very goals of environmental integrity that we seek to achieve. And as we put our nation on a new course in energy policy, as I said, we must ensure that no region and no state is left behind. Throughout my district, long-established companies want to be a part of the solution and are transitioning to green technologies. Companies that have produced brakes for helicopters are now producing brakes for wind turbines. Companies that have manufactured bearings for the auto industry are now finding another market with renewable energy systems. And there are several companies that are trying to start up during some of the most difficult economic times our country has ever seen. These companies are developing advanced waste heat recovery systems, bio-waste electricity generation systems, and algae-based biofuels. Recently, President Obama announced that the General Services Administration will accelerate its purchase of 17,600 new fuel-efficient vehicles produced by American auto companies. The President's announcement about modernizing the fleet of the government is welcome news, and I share his commitment to shoring up jobs for American auto workers while improving our environment. That's why I introduced the Consumer Assistance to Recycle and Save Act of 2009. The CARS Act will help consumers, stimulate our economy, improve our environment, reduce our dependence on foreign oil, and help our domestic auto and related industries. The President's announcement demonstrates that finding ways to achieve these multiple goals can be done. My colleagues, Representatives Steve Israel and Jay Inslee, have introduced similar legislation. I look forward to continue a collaboration with them to enact a green vehicle purchase incentive program that will meet these multiple goals. And I look forward to working with Chairman Waxman and Markey and my colleagues to implement a balanced and effective measure to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and address global climate change.
Thank the gentlelady very much, and we look forward to working with her. And with the completion of your testimony, your opening statement, all time for opening statements from the members has now been completed. Tomorrow morning at 9:30 at that witness table, we will have the Secretary of Energy, Stephen Chu, the Administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, Lisa Jackson, and the Secretary of Transportation, Ray LaHood. 9:30 tomorrow morning, we begin to write history in the United States. With that, this hearing is adjourned.